Welcome to the channel. So, hitting you up today about copper, why it's on the rise. There is an increase for demand with EVs. The motors need copper wirings to make the electric current to spin those wheels. We need copper in our houses for the water pipes, all the wiring in our houses. All those wind farms need copper. Copper is essential to our lives. So anyway, along with this increase in demand, there's going to be a shortage in supply as new discoveries in recent years have plummeted. We're going to look at the supply and demand, and then we're going to look at a company I'm invested in who's got big asset in Chile, and they're quite cheap, no hype behind them, and I see them popping. Once they start mining this mine, they could get taken out, and easily 10 times in my opinion. We'll also go through some figures from them, how much it costs to get the copper out of the ground roughly, and how much they could sell it for, and how much they're worth now. Put all these numbers together, and I think it looks good for this copper miner.
More copper does an EV use compared to an internal combustion engine? The answer is 3.5 to 4 times. Here we have internal combustion engine, 22 kilos, and then we go more towards the full battery with 40 for the hybrid, 55 for the plug-in hybrid, and battery 80 kilos or thereabouts. So the average Tesla has 180 pounds of copper, meaning $631 USD at today's price of $3.51 USD per pound. So if the standard Model S sells at $36,000 and Tesla's margins are 20-30%, that means they're making $7,000 to $10,000 in each of these, meaning if copper prices were to double, it wouldn't really dent their margins that much. So not only is there going to be increased demand for copper, there's going to be a shortage in supply as well. Look at this graph of the discoveries from 1990 to 2016. There's been hardly anything in recent years. So taking all that supply and demand information in, we suspect the copper price will be sustained the next 10 to 20 years, if not rising, which is great news for Hot Chili. The market cap only $121 million, and they've got 4.1 million tons of copper in the ground in Chile, close to the coast, close to the services that they need. It's going to cost them $1 billion to build the plant like that. So would you pay $1 billion for them, meaning they're a 10X, spend $1 billion and get what we're about to see here in return? So it's costing $2 per pound to mine the copper. Remember, it's lower than this, but $2 is a safe estimate because it's the higher side. So that equates to $4.4 per kilo, 4,400 a ton, or 4.4 billion per million tons. And now the selling cost is at $3.50 per pound, quite high, and that's 7,700 a ton. And this is USD, so 7.7 billion per million tons. So here's a slide from past video I did on HCH. So the prices for copper has changed, meaning they have more than $30 billion of copper in the ground. Though the important thing here is down the bottom, 4.1 million tons of copper in the ground and 3.5 million ounces of gold. We'll just look at the copper for this video. So each million tons price is $7.7 billion. So we get that 7.7 billion times it by 4.1, which is how much million tons they have. So that's $31 billion with a cost to mine of $18 billion. So that could be the profit, $13 billion of profit. And remember, you don't just get this out of the ground straight away. That's over a long, maybe 20-30 years. If you've followed any copper videos at the moment, you know they haven't discovered much in the recent years, and the price is going to climb due to electric vehicles and the already existing uses for copper. So the copper price could go even higher. So if it goes to 10,000 a ton, that means $41 billion for them with a cost of $18 billion. $23 billion in profit, and if it goes higher, even higher again. So remember, copper mines take a long time to get into production. You have to find somewhere, drill the holes, which costs a lot of money, make sure it's all good, and then you can begin mining. So I think once Hot Chili begins mining, or even before then, when it looks like they're going to start, I think they're going to pop. So currently their market cap is around 100 million, and if you're going to get 31 billion over 20 years, that 100 million to buy out Hot Chili and get their asset is pennies in the ocean. You might pay $1 billion to buy Hot Chili, and then you pay $1 billion more to build the plant, and you might be left with 13 billion over say 20 years. So I'm surprised hot chili still is where they are. I think the copper market is going to be strong, and that's why I'm invested in hot chili. I think it's going to be a big thing when it happens. When it pops, it's going to pop.